Hey everyone, this is Luminous coming to you guys with a pro Dota commentary. This commentary is affiliated with DC, and for more commentaries and content, check us out on DotaCommentaries.com. This game is going to be played between Tyloo and DK, and if you haven't checked out my last commentary between LGD, SGT1, and DK, I suggest you check it out because not only will I spoil that game when I'm going to be casting this game, and I'm also going to be drawing a lot of content from the last game as well. Probably because these two are Chinese teams and Chinese playstyle is pretty much similar, and of course it's DK in that game and then DK in this game as well. So let's see how I guess DK do today. They did lose pretty badly last time. Well, I say pretty badly, but they had a really good shot of winning at one point, and they could have just let it go. Probably due to DK's strategic mistake, I want to say, or maybe LGD SGTY just defended really well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, go watch that last commentary I did. It's a good game. I also talked about a lot of strategic stuff, so that might enlighten you a little bit about the current Chinese playstyle. But that's beyond this game. This game is Tyloo versus DK. Tyloo, one of the up and coming teams of China. They're pretty good. I don't think they're at the ranks of like LGD and Nirvana China or CCM. Well, I can't say because CCM is just beating everyone else, whereas LGD and Nirvana seems vulnerable at times. So Tyloo's, I guess, supposed up there as well. WE is really strong, and then DK is kind of like, they're kind of strong, and then sometimes they lose. So the Chinese team right now, they don't really have a clear victor outside of CCM as the biggest team to catch up. Like there's no second best team. I can't really say for sure. So there's no guarantee that DK is gonna win or Tyloo is gonna win. But let's see what they're gonna be picking today. Windrunner ban, Visage ban, AA ban on the Sentinel, Scourge, and the Pugna and Weaver. And we all know the Chinese pick and ban phase is going to take a long time, so I'm going to speed up to 2x speed. Chinese actually take, they think through the picks and bans stage for a long time. It might seem really odd because the Chinese only play like 20 to 25 heroes, but even within these 20 to 25 permutation, there's a lot of different combinations, and because of that, the Chinese do take a long time in terms of taking what do I get here and what do I get now. And of course, they're going to get the Invoker first. Meanwhile, the Scourge team answers back with Lich, fairly standard picks. Let's see what they're going to go Doom here, and like I said in my last commentary, Doom is actually pick worthy. Of course, he's a really pick worthy hero, but we don't ever see in the European game. I'm not too sure why the European one used to ban it in the 6-9C stage, and now that no one bans it, but no one picks it anymore. So it feels like, at least in the European scene, it's more of a trendy hero, whereas the Chinese are picking it, banning it because it fits into their lineup. Of course, it's a good reason to pick up the Doom right now because it does counter. I mean, Doom counters everything, right? But it really puts a strain on the Invoker in terms of either limiting his item build or limiting his position. And if you could limit one of his two biggest asset, that can help you in one way or another. And even if you don't get a Doom off the Invoker, you can still shut down one of their other heroes. Whether it be a support or not. And in my last commentary, I referred to how the Chinese, every hero on the lineup contributes something to the team, whereas the Europeans' playing style is a little bit different. They put more emphasis on the carries and less emphasis on the support. So if you Doom a support in the European scene, it's not that big of a deal, whereas if you Doom a support in the Chinese scene, it's a bigger deal. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's a bigger deal. We'll see how it plays out. And let's see, Tyloo is going to rebut with the Venge and the Clockwork pick. I do like these two in sequence picked up. Clockwork is a very strong ganking hero. I don't like it as much in the European scene. I already said why in my last commentary. See, I'm referring to a lot between commentaries because it's pretty much the same thing, right? It's a pick man analysis of the Chinese scene, so there's going to be bounds to overlap. I do like the Morphling pick third because not only is Morphling a good hero to get out of cogs, he can carry really well, he can counter push and push very well. And lastly, I believe like the biggest reason that DK picked up Morphling is so that Tyloo don't get Morphling, because if you see Tyloo's carry player, his name is Seeking. Yeah, that's a water Pokemon. If you let the water Pokemon play a water-based hero, you're fucked. So a good choice by DK picking up the water hero so that the Tyloo don't pick it. So I think that's the biggest reason why. Broodmother ban, you might be raising your little eyebrow a little bit, maybe saying why a Broodmother ban. Broodmother, I mean, he's a really she's a really good hero, but a situational hero. Lately, we did see CCM's Ferrari just play the Broodmother to, I believe, perfection. Not only does he farm his lane with his Spiderlings, but he also farmed the entire map's neutral with Spiderlings. So I mean, you don't picture Broodmother as a heavy farmer, but he was really out farming heroes like Morphling, Spectre, and everything else just by himself, like all over the map. And it's really hard to, well, he's not really hard to gank, but he's gonna get like a 16-minute Orchid after power treads. And there's really like 16-minute Orchids or 18-minute Orchid is gonna be deadly against heroes such as Weaver, such as Morphling, or what have it, because they can't even get up to their Lincoln Sphere yet. So that's why the Broodmother is very, very deadly hero. I don't think DK will pick it though, but you know, you can never say for sure. But going back to the Venge and Clock, I do like those two picks in succession because the Venge counters. Well, I won't say counter. The Venge does well against Clock because she is swap out a teammate if he's broke back cogged, and then basically that Clock just put himself in a very dangerous position in between enemy heroes. And it looks like they're gonna go for a Enigma. Enigma has been phasing out a little bit, at least in the European scene. Europeans don't really like Enigma that much. I still think he's a really, really good hero. Of course, DGC's Enigma is what made me want to learn Enigma, because every time I see him play, it's just marvelous black hole. So let's see how Tyloo is going to play that today. Enigma is a very interesting choice, considering that he is going up against a Doombringer and a Lich. Right now, Scourge has two spells that goes through BKB and cancels the black hole. Doom, of course, goes through BKB and silence you immediately. And Chain Frost, the first bounce, if you cast it on a BKB hero, I'm not too sure whether you know it or not. The first bounce, if you cast it on a BKB hero, yes, the BKB blocks the damage, but there is a mini stun which the BKB will not block. So if you see a Enigma jumping with the black hole, you can cast a Chain Frost on him, and BKB or not, it will mini stun. It looks like they're gonna go Drow Ranger last pick. Gonna slow it down to 1x. Ooh, I'm gonna pause it for a bit just to talk about these two last picks. Hunter, or let's talk about the Storm first. Storm is a very interesting pick, considering that it's picked right after a Storm. If you do have very good control of the Storm, and I bet whoever's playing it will, you can just zip behind Enigma and then just grapple, and that's gonna be a free cancel. Also, Storm is gonna be a good mobile hero to counter against the Clock, and also zips in to initiate against the Invoker. So right now, in either case, if you're playing against the Storm defensively, you have to be really, really careful of the Venge, because let's say if the Storm wastes a lot of mana to initiate on the Invoker, and then the Venge just swaps the Invoker into safety, then now your Storm is kind of in a kind of disadvantaged position without disabling any other hero, and that, you know, it's a 5v4 with your Storm losing a lot of mana. I hope that makes sense. And it looks like they're going to do Drow Ranger last pick. I'm not too sure whether this is the best choice. If I was in the case of Tyloo, I think I would have gone for a because Drow Ranger, if the Storm zips in, like, she's not that weak to it, because you can still lifesteal, you can pop the BKB and Manta, but I'm not too sure why Drow would be the better choice. I was thinking Dusa might be a little bit tankier, though Dusa is quite weak to the Doom as well. I'm just not feeling the Drow pick, to be honest. I think a more magical based hero instead of more of a physical based hero would be a little bit better, especially you're going to be going up against a Frost armor and such. So this Drow pick, I'm not understanding it, but let's see if I could understand it as the game progresses on. And Hunter is a very safe counter pick against Enigma, and also a very good pick against Clockwork as well. Against Clockwork, once he initiates in, if he doesn't accomplish a lot really quickly, the Hunter could just walk straight forward, kind of basically cut off the path between the clock and the rest of his teammates. And if the Ty sees a lot of heroes walking in, he could just drop bombs with Ravage. That's pretty much it. Also, of course, if the black hole doesn't keep the Ty in it, the Ty could basically just press V anywhere on the map, and then he just basically cancels the black hole. So this Ty pick is a very, very smart pick. And I'm gonna pause now because that's a pretty long pre-game analysis. But one thing that's actually a little bit confusing about the Scourge is how they're going to lane this. They are going to do a Lich support most likely. Lich has bought the ward, so he is going to be supporting. Storm Spirit probably going to solo mid, and then the Tri-Lane Morphling and Doom. So that's a fairly standard lineup. We'll see. And then meanwhile on here we do see 4 clarities on the Enigma. That means he's jungling. Yes, that means he's jungling because Clock is going to be on the long lane solo. A dueling of Venge and Drow. I do like duel lanes, and it looks like the Chinese in the last game they did a jungle Enchantress, played by DK. In this game they're going to do a jungle Enigma. I feel like they're more or less taking off. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of skirmish going on. Are they going to be a Nova drop down? I don't think. I'm not too sure what this Lich has picked up a skill yet, because he might be still saving for that Dark Ritual, depending where if he's going to go into a solo lane or not. We'll see though. And anyways, yeah, I was saying that the Chinese has been taking a page of the Navi playbook or the former DTS playbook, or maybe it's more popularized in China right now. They're gonna do a little bit more jungling play. Back in 6.8 and 6.9, jungling play was never even thought of. Well, I'm pretty sure they thought of it, but they never played it because they put so much emphasis in terms of a tri-lane versus tri-lane. Because if you lose a laning phase, you're pretty much effed. Most of the time, tri-lane is placed at the bot lane. Looks like they're gonna do a storm top. They're gonna do what? So they're gonna do a Lich bot, and then a Doom mid, and then a Morphling top. So this Storm is support. No, the Storm is jungling. Okay, I mean that makes no sense. I only seen Storm jungle once in my life. It was a Chinese game. I'm pretty sure it was a really old Nirvana China game, or was it a very old Sunny game? One or the other. And I'm pretty sure it's Nirvana China because I think I casted it too. Storm can jungle. Yeah, he can jungle. What I think he's going to do is he's going to pull this creep camp, and then he's going to use his remnants to jungle to level 2, and then get his overload. I mean, I won't say it's a good build, because it's always better to have Storm to get the solo XP. But if you're wondering why they're doing the jungle Storm as well, he's not going to have a good time at all against the, yeah, he's doing the pull. It looks like Tidehunter's going to help out the pull as well. No, Tidehunter's going to pull, and then pull the creeps. So to pull the Clockwork a little bit back. But yeah, the jungle Tide, I mean the jungle Storm, it's not an optimal choice, but I think the Storm will definitely get outlane in the mid lane. Because Invoker, I mean, there's very few heroes in the game that could outlane Invoker, and he did just that. Looks like he's gonna pop some clarity and regen up. But Doom, on the other hand, can't outlane Invoker either, so he's basically going to chill back and then just depend on his Devour for spells. Invoker's going to have an absolute easy time in terms of denying, last sitting, and harassing, but he should do a little bit better of that. Yeah, okay, he got that one. Oh, okay, no big deal. The supports on the bot lane is gonna help out, because the Lich is not gonna he's gonna basically stay his tower for the longest he can, and then he will just Dark Ritual, keep Dark Ritualing to a point where this creep wave is at his tower, and then he's gonna eat up the XP. That's why Lich is so good in terms of in a long lane, because he will just slowly but surely drag that creep wave back through Dark Rituals, and then get back to your lane. Looks like Venge is gonna roam. Let's see if this Venge knows where is this Yaphet? Yes. Knows where Yaphet is jungling and try to gank the I mean, jungle Storm, right? Like it's definitely not definitely probably not what the Sentinel expected. If they expected that, then kudos for seeing through that. 4-2, 9-5, yeah, as expected. Invoker outlaning quite badly. Tidehunter needs to be careful because this Venge is roaming quite a bit. There is a rune. The rune is at bot lane. That is the Invis rune. Looks like the Vengeful Spirit is going to try to get a gank at the mid lane. She does have a dust or smoke. I don't think smoke will be helpful in this case. Level 4 is that Doombringer. I'm pretty sure Doombringer has level 2 death. Level 2 level death. And probably 1 Scourge Orb and 1 Devour. Meanwhile, Yaphet's doing his pull. Is he? Man, that's a really stacked camp. Yeah, that's a 3-stack camp, so he's gonna remnants like crazy. This dog need to be careful. Might die. He's gonna pick up a bottle first for some cheap regen. As we see Venge coming in, Venge is gonna just scare the Doom away. I don't think they could kill. Yeah, I don't think they could kill the Doombringer at all. One thing I do want to see the Sentinel team, in terms of their response against this Lich bot, is to push against him. Lich is a good tri-lane hero or long lane hero because he could just pull EXP all the way back to his tower. But if you just push against a Lich can't defend his tower at all. I mean, the other logical response for Tyloo is, well, we'll just get a Drow farm, and I think that's what they're having the Drow do right now. But I think killing 2 towers and then having the Drow farm is better than just having Drow farm. So We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm going to introduce the players a little bit as we see a dive at the mid lane. Scourge is pop, but that cold snap not enough to kill him. But I think they could just push a tower right now, right? I think they could push a tower. Meanwhile, the Clockwork is level 3 as well. And looks like the Tie Hunter is going to come in. There's that waveform and a gush. And looks like this Clockwork might be in trouble. Clock very, very low, but it looks like the burning is not going to chase into the tower. So 0-0 so far in the game. Smoke Gank is going to come to the top lane. Let's see if they're going to find Yafit in the jungle. No, Yafit's... Yafit suicided to creeps, I think. I think he suicided to creeps. Let me check. Yeah, he suicided to creeps. A quick way to back home if you can, and this Doom is going to be dead. And that Smoke Gank is going to be effective. And let's see who's going to get up the kill, though. Yes, it's going to be Super on Tyloo. The Invoker picks up the kill. But meanwhile, the Clock might be in a little bit of trouble. This tower in trouble as well. Basilius is not turned on. No, Basilius is turned on. But he needs to stand closer to creep to give his creeps a little bit of plus armor. It looks like the Sentinel is going to mount and push at the mid lane. And if you look at the Sentinel and Island, they're going to be, the Scourge lineup is going to be really, really bad in terms of defending. The Scourge doesn't have really long-range AoE spells they could throw at the creeps. All they have is a waveform. Yeah, all they have is a single waveform. This Doom is going to be dead. Yeah, Doom is going to die to massive right click, but it looks like he's... Oh my god, Enigma just got focused by the tower. So quite unlucky for that Enigma, or maybe a... kind of a bad play for not canceling the aggro. But yeah, look at the Scourge lineup. 0 AoE defense against pushing. And against the Enigma could just push to his heart's content. Of course, the Invoker is going to be going for that standard Quas Wex build. I was thinking, well, you know, if you look at the Scourge lineup where they have 0 AoE defense spells. Oh, Storm's got to be careful. Storm just dies. Wow, that's very unlucky for Yafits over there. Maybe a little bit bad player as well. I was saying, well, Invoker is going to see the Scourge team has absolutely no AoE defense. Might not be bad to go the Force Spirit build either, because the Force Spirits, if you get you know, level 9 Invoker with, you know, 4 and 4 on Quas and Quas and Exhort, you could push really well with dual Force Spirits. But of course, and looks like this Tie Hunter is going to die. Cold Snap, couple hits. Phase Sweep already picked up on the Invoker. But as we see a gank going on as well. But I think EMP Tornado is also a very good pushing spell. Of course, it doesn't kill creeps, and it doesn't really do too much of anything against heroes. But it's just annoying. Like, people's gonna run left and right to dodge it. As we see a very easy kill attempt. Both the supports very, very low. Let's see if Yafit's gonna come in. Yafit's not level 6 yet, so that's not gonna helpful. Right now, this Scourge team is not having a good game at all. Like, their strategy is not paying off. The Storm Spirit, I think the reason you want a Storm Spirit in the jungle is so that your other lanes could benefit from the solo EXP. But the Doom can't benefit that much from it, at least not from an Invoker. And he lost the tower already. And then the Storm in the jungle should be protected, but he died once to the Clockwork as well. It looks like Clock's going to be coming in. Clock's going to turn back against a level 4 Tide. I think he actually could have made a kill on that Tide, but maybe he was a little bit afraid of the Doom coming in. So that makes sense. So Storm is going to be level 6, right? This Clockwork should be checking very actively with rockets, because he might just get a couple lucky kills. And it looks like this Clock is going to just be roaming to the top lane. I'm not too sure whether I like this Clock's play. So far, he's just roaming left and right, but he's not doing too much of ganking. Like, he should be actively seeking out the Storm Spirit in the jungle, because he knows he's in the jungle. We'll see, though. He's scouted out by this Replicate. And the Morphling's going to be playing Stay Away with this. So both teams is just going to be farming. Let's see how Drow Ranger is farming. Drow Ranger's got 37 creep kills in a free farm lane. I can't say that's good. Like, in fact, that's not good. 8 minutes, 37. I suppose that's okay. Like, that's 4 minutes. 4 minutes in a free farm lane in a Chinese game, I don't think that's good. Meanwhile, Morphling here, played by Burning at 43 creep kills. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit over 5, so that's I guess right on point. So despite having free farm, Drow Ranger is not having free farm. So this strategy is not really working out for Tyloo that well either. I think, again, they should have just pushed against that Lich, because they could have easily taken down this tower and then this tower as well. And keep in mind that the Scourge team has no AoE defense, so if you send 6 Eidolons at the tower, there's absolutely nothing the Scourge could do. And I think this the Sentinel should be doing that a little bit more actively. And this Venge is dead. Storm's gonna be zipping in soon. Storm, come on, Storm. Okay, Storm. Storm. Alright, there we go. Storm zips in. Scourge Orifice pop. That Venge goes down. Venge is already level 6 though. Like if their enemy Venge is same level as your Storm, I'll bet you like it doesn't matter whether your Storm jungle or not. If the Venge is at the same level, then you're in bad choice. Clock a little bit of inching ahead. He does have quite a bit of HP, so no big deal. Meanwhile, on the top lane here, they're gonna try to kill that Morphling. Morphling is gonna be fine, dodging away from that EMP. Someone cancels the TP, and this is a cue for Sentinel push. Again, no AoE defense. They're gonna just power down this tower like MP. Oh, no deny though from the Morphling. So that's yet another tower drop down. That's 3 towers down for the Sentinel team, for the Scourge team. Sentinel 3k go up, and that is gonna help out Drow's farm. Let's see what Drow's gonna go in first. Drow's gonna go for Helm of Dawn first. Let's see if she's gonna do some Ancient Pulling. I think Ancient Pulling is gonna be a good. Ancient Pulling is always good, but we'll see. Ancient Pulling is actually not that popular in Chinese play. Maybe they're a little bit afraid of if they ever lose a team fight, then you're basically pulling for your opponents. But nope, they are gonna get one. So let's see if they're gonna be doing some pull. Let's see what this one's going to. Gonna check out how everyone's farming. Let's see, 41 on the Drow, 38 on the Invoker. 53 on the Morphling, and wow, this is very, very pitiable farm. My god, this is just bad farm on the Scourge team. And I mean, you can't try to lane against an Invoker and expect to have good farm. The Morphling is the only one getting good farm because he had a clock in his lane. Drow Ranger is basically gonna outlane Lich if they go for 1-for-1. Well, they weren't going 1v1 because Drow definitely has support as well. And let's see, right now it's Sentinel. It definitely has a biggest lead. They have lead via CS. They also have lead via towers. Looks like they're gonna make a very aggressive push. The Sentinel does see one hero with the ward, but there's 2 more smoke following. I think they know like this clock wouldn't be going. No, he was invis. Never mind. Let's see. Storm's gonna be good. Dying Storm. Oh, he's gonna zip out from the EMB tornado. There's that ult. Only bouncing 0 bounce of 1, but they're gonna kill this Venge nonetheless. There is go Ravage going on the Clockwork as well, and that's a very good counter gank coming from the Scourge team. Sentinel team a little bit of overstretching their hands, got caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Invoker has his Django finish and the face boot as well, so let's see what's going to go next. He does have a Sobi mask. This Sobi mask might be turned into a Cyclone. Cyclone would be a very interesting item because Cyclone will help out in terms of his movement speed, but I'm not too sure what would you Cyclone. Like, would you Cyclone the Doom? Although Cyclone is a very, very good counter against TIE Hunter. Because if you see the TIE walking in at you, you could just Cyclone him up, and then as soon as it's dropped down, you issue a black hole with your Enigma. Like, that would be an okay counter, but then you already have this thing called Tornado. It's a mass Cyclone, so I'm not too sure why would you make Cyclone. I don't think he is gonna go this Cyclone. We'll see though. And this game is slowing down to a very, very hardcore farm fest. Where is that Walken? I want to see where there's Walken here. Is Walken doing some pulls? Yes, Walken is doing ancient pulls, and that is good news. Scourge right now, they are quite behind, but they are very long game team. Are they going to make a go? No, EMP on the TIE Hunter. TIE Hunter can't even ult. Yeah, he has no mana to ult, and that is why the Invoker build is so good in terms of going for the early EMP Tornado, because the Invoker is going to be higher level than everyone else because he has such good lane control, and he's going to be solo mid. That means he's going to have a very high level of Wex going for the Chinese build. And that EMP is going to drain so much mana. You can see that as soon as that EMP just popped, that TIE Hunter has 0 mana to do anything. And a 0 mana TIE Hunter is just a glorified melee creep. Yeah, he's just a glorified melee creep. And that just becomes another tower down for the Scourge team. That's 4 towers down, and I think they are going to defend this one as well. Yeah, they popped the glyph, and that's going to be easy defense. That Tornado coming in, yes, you can see that even though he wasn't even near the team battle, the Wex Invoker just dropped a Tornado from afar, and that was just easy. So with 4 tower down, this does give the Sentinel a lot of farming, or to give the Scourge a lot of farming room. But if you look at the Scourge lineup, like, who's going to get the farm? Of course, Morphling's going to get the farm, and now you're going to be stuck between giving the other farm to the Storm Spirit and the Doombringer. Like, I don't think they could split the farm. If they split the farm 3-way, that's stretching a little bit too too thin, because Storm Spirit need quite a bit of items. Like he's gonna need BKB for sure against the Sentinel lineup. And Doombringer, I don't know, like Doombringer, even though he's solo mid, he's got 18 creep kills. That's 1 a minute. That's like 1.5 in a minute. That is gonna be horror bad. It looks like the Scourge team is looking for a trade on the tower. It's trading a level 2 tower for a level 1 tower. I suppose that's not bad for the Scourge because they already lost. They already lost so many towers. Any trade, any even trade they could get right now is gonna be good. I say even because in terms of gold count, it's gonna be completely even. In terms of map control, of course, this tower is more important in terms of map control, but right now, I think Scourge it's just happy to get whatever they can get, and they are gonna get to the spot tower unless we have. And looks like the Sentinel is gonna go on high ground. Yeah, they are gonna go on high ground. I think these guys have to all TP back. Morphling's gonna try to take down mid tower as well. If they could get a 2 for 1 trade and still defend their base tower, that won't be bad. But I don't think they can defend it. Yes, Eidolon's doing quite a bit of damage on the tower. Venge has already picked up command, or she should. No, she hasn't. I think she's just. I think a single level of tier, a single level of command aura would be more helpful than an extra level on the tier. Looks like going to defend this very valiantly. The tower is going to go down for sure. Let's see if it's going to be... Yes, great deny on Yaf. It's Chain Frost. No Chain Frost just yet. Oh my god, so very low HP. And Storm so very low MP as well. And these guys are going to be right-clicking. There you go. Django pops. A lot of attack speeds on that. Oh, why are they backing? Why are they backing? They're going to wait for creeps. No big deal. Wait for creep. Take it safe and slow. And they're going to try to pick down this Burning Replicate as well. And they need it. Oh, this Tide Hunter is going to walk in. They need it. If they can get EMP on that Tide, then they could just safely walk in to pick up the Rax. Are they defending? No, they're going to pull back out. Oh, man. If they could have taken down that Rax, that would have been a very, very good pushing. But on the... Yeah, they actually traded two for two. 2 towers. A level 2 tower, a level 3 towers for 2 level 1 towers. Of course, I mean, the Scourge team is so far behind right now. But any trade they could get, like as long as you don't lose a Rax, right? As long as you don't lose a Rax, you're okay. And this kind of playing style is very, very reminiscent of 2010's eHome playing style. eHome playing style, if you have forgot, is basically most eHome games. If you push your outer towers, they're like, I don't care. You can push all you want. We're gonna just farm. We're gonna have our Morphling, have or whatever carry, Deuce, Drought, just farm. When you're pushing your tower, and also we're going to try to push one of your towers as well. But when it comes to base defense, then they would just like throw 5 heroes. They'll save for buybacks. They will defend that Rex like at all costs. But for outer towers, they don't really do that many TPs. They don't do too much of that. So this kind of playing style from DK right now is quite reminiscent of former eHome playing style. They are holding to this Rex right now, but again, you gotta keep in mind the Scourge team really bad at defending. It's up to Sentinel to get this push going on. So a couple of item checks. Very interestingly, we have Enigma picking at the Mecha, and that Mecha was actually very instrumental in that last push. And I think with this build, they're looking to win this game quite early. And I mean, if you're gonna go for a more mid-game to late-game build, you have to pick up the Blink Dagger. And I think the Scourge is gonna get yet another trade. They might even get the 2nd tier tower. So that is 1 tower down for the Sentinel. This Yafit picked it up, so that's pretty good. And let's see who's gonna pick up this tower. Is Scourge? They're gonna defend? No, Scourge's not gonna defend. They're gonna do a 2 for 1 trade. Yeah, I don't think a 2 for 1 trade is what Tyloo is looking for, but I think that's what gonna get. Oh, they're gonna go high ground again, force these guys to TP back. Yeah, they are forcing at least 2 TPs right now. And another 2 more TP, but at the very least, I think Morphling. Yeah, I think Morphling's gonna just get this. No, Morphling's gonna TP back as well. So no, well, they did do significant damage on this tower. High ground attempt number 2. This time at bot. That is gonna be a smoke. They're gonna doom the Invoker. Yes, they did doom the Invoker. That's huge. Black hole. Black hole. Yes, grabbing 2 heroes, grabbing the Tide, grabbing 4 heroes on the black hole. Gets cancelled. There's a Ravage. Ravage kills something. And that Clog is actually grabbing no one. I think that's a pretty bad fight for the Sentinel. It looks like Drought Ranger taking quite a bit of damage. Enigma goes down. This Morphling doesn't care because he's morphing everything to strength, so no big deal. I think this Clock is going to go down next. Yes, Clock is going to take a Nova, I believe, at least a waveform. There you go. Storm comes in. I don't know how Storm has all this mana. He only has 700 mana, but he's zipping around like crazy. He zipped into Initiate on the Invoker, and then he zipped into follow-up on the Clock. Chinese Storms always seem like they have excess amount of mana, but he is already dropped to So a very good fight for DK, and they're actually pulled ahead on the hero kill, but hero kill doesn't tell all the story because if you look at the tower, right, Scourge's got 2 towers left, 2 base towers on the lane, and then meanwhile Sentinel still has 3 towers left. So Scourge down so much in terms of gold. But yeah, the Enigma in that last fight, I mean, I'm not too sure whether I suppose is okay. Like it's definitely not the standard blink dagger into BKB build. But there's many, like I always say in my other commentaries, more than one way to play a certain hero, and this kind of Enigma means that they want to go pushing, and they have been pushing, so it pays off. It pays off. But I think you should get a blink dagger next. I'm not too sure because blink dagger is not going to be too effective because there's many counters on the storm to the Enigma. This on the Scourge to counter Enigma. The Storm can zip in behind Enigma and then just basically pull Electric Vortex. If you don't get the tie, then he's gonna Ravage and your thing is gonna get cancelled. So there's multiple counters, so Blink Dagger might not be the best choice. Also, there's 2 things on the Scourge that cancels BKB, so I don't think BKB would be the best choice either. So pushing item on Enigma, though non-standard, it might be working out well. It looks like they're gonna make yet another high ground camp. Let's see, can they get it off? Oh my god, great cog, and that EMP is gonna render that. Yeah, no, not enough mana for the Tie Hunter. Tie Hunter does have 10 wand charges, unable to pop it, so no no Ravage. I think Ravage is still on cooldown. Storm gotta be careful. This clock very low HP. Sentinel needs to focus on that Rax. There's a swap on the Invoker, not too sure what that's about. Focus on that damn Rax, guys. Ignore that Morphling. Like, who cares if you kill the Morphling? You need, oh my god, they're gonna focus on the Morphling, so wasted a lot of precious DPS, and this Storm zips and Storm's gonna die. Yeah, Storm just dies to right click of Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger finally decides to turn around. Chain Frost being popped down, and are they going to defend this Rax? Rax extremely low. Focus on the Rax. Drow Ranger extremely low. Drow Ranger is going to go down. Yes, Rax is taken down, so this is more or less a fair victory. Even though if they get a team wipe against the Sentinel at this point, Sentinel already got what they want. Yes, they did pick off the Drow Ranger. They did pick off the Clockwork. No, that's all they picked. The Invoker, they picked off the Invoker as well. But I think they're going to pick off the Venge and the Clock. No, it's going to be fine. Oh, Enigma dies. I'm not too sure how Enigma got here. Enigma dies as well. But I think that's all they wanted. That's all they want. Of course, taking down melee Rax means that you're going to outfarm your opponent no matter what. Your opponent now is going to have 1 lane less to farm. Of course, this lane even is going to pressure the Scourge more and more as time progresses. And also, if you look at the Scourge lineup, they have 3 guys that desperately needs farm. Stormspirit needs farm. Stormspirit, by the way, bought back in that last fight, so he's going to have no gold. He's not even close to his BKB yet. He has actually gone for Myrtle Hammer first. He has an Ogre Axe on the chicken. So if he didn't buy back in that last fight, would have had a BKB by now. And 22-minute BKB from a Jungle Storm, impressive, especially on a very losing game like this. That's pretty impressive. But unfortunately, he had to buy back, and then now he doesn't have his BKB. And Doombringer is gonna have no farm. Like Doombringer, yeah, he's gonna go for support Doombringer. I like this choice. I really do like this choice because he realized that there's no way you could have a farm Storm, farm Morphling, and a farm Doom, especially when you lost a melee Rax worth of gold. So he's gonna jungle. He's gonna play a support role. Does have the mana boots. He's gonna go for a pipe, I presume, or go for hood at least. And I do like this build. Meanwhile, the Sentinel, they are on a pretty good shape. They're gonna go for mid Rax attempt. Let's see if everyone's ulti is online. The Ravage critically is not online. So if the Sentinel make a big push right now, and they are making this big push right now, they should have the mid Rax as well. Let's see how it plays out. It really depends on the position of the Enigma. If he gets doomed before he does anything, if he gets grabbed by the Storm before he does anything, then he's F. And these Eidolons are just pushing maniacs. Looks like Tyner's gonna walk bravely and drops off a Gush, and there's a pipe popped, and that pipe, early pipe, is so aggressive. That's the tower being pushed down. Is Sentinel gonna back off? Oh, Enigma, you are out of position, sir. Gotta be very, very careful. Only 1,000 HP on that Enigma, so he does have the mecha, so that EMP dropped off on the tower. A lot of physical damage on that Crip. Crip already half HP. Let's see. Sentinel have to make, or Scourge have to make a defense right now. There's that Chain Frost. Oh, Clock only getting a single hero. That Tie Hunter. Oh my god, a great Ravage separating both team fight. There. Oh my god, that Black Hole gets cancelled immediately by the Storm as predicted, and this team fight is gonna be over. That Invoker dies to the Doom. Enigma dies to a Focus, and that's a Storm coming again. Having I don't know how he does it, having so much mana. That is a 4-0 trade. 40 Scourge, and Scourge successfully defends, and now you can understand why Storm Spirit and Tie Hunter counter so well against the Clockwork and the Enigma. The Clock actually hooked in, and he did grab a single, like he grabbed 2 or 3 heroes, but the Tie just bravely went up, split the Sentinel team between the Clock and the 4 other hero, and just ravaged. Like, where you at? What can you do, right? Your Clog is already trapped between his own cog, and then your teammate can't even come in to help out because of that Ravage. And then Storm just zipped in, canceled the Black Hole very timely on that against Enigma. And after all those ultis are expelled, that was a pretty much an easy team fight for DK. So that's a picture perfect team fight for DK. All the heroes on Scourge doing exactly what they should. Of course, Doombringer also dropped a Doom on the Invoker, rendering him pretty much useless as well. And you can see why this kind of lineup very, very strong in team fight. But they are very shitty in terms of counter pushing. And right now, I think Tyloo is making the correct strategic choice in terms of pushing against. And I think I understand why they picked up the Drow Ranger as well. If you think about it, Drow Ranger as a carry, she ramps up to damage. She ramps up to damage faster than any other carry. I mean, I think Shadow Fiend is gonna rival it, but Shadow Fiend also requires a mid solo lane. I think they're gonna give the mid solo lane to the Invoker. So whereas Drow Ranger, right? If you look at the go right now, 25 minutes. She's not that farm. She has 127 creep kills, so that's pretty respectable creep kill. But look at her plus damage, 100 plus 171 because of her marksmanship, because of her true shot aura. Like, she's a mid game really strong power pushing hero. So I think that's why that's what the Sentinel look for. And I don't think this is a good team fight for Sentinel to pick because they don't have that Black Hole yet. They don't have the Black Hole, and they get ignored Enigma. They are ignoring Enigma. The Drow Ranger dies immediately to a Doom, and they're just ignoring the Enigma. Enigma now goes down. Tie Hunter is probably gonna survive as well. No, Tie Hunter goes down to the Venge, but they are trading 4 heroes for that one Tide, maybe 5. Venge is gonna go down again. Meanwhile, Yafet again zipping around like he has limitless mana. BKB already completed on that Storm Spirit, and now this game is looking extremely grim for the Sentinel team. Yafet's pushed to the top lane. He's surrounded by creeps. Needs to get the hell out. Someone needs to TP and to kill this glaive thrower so that Temple of the Damned don't go down. Yeah, Morphling is en route. So I don't think that was a good choice because they fought without the Enigma's Black Hole. Yeah, Enigma's Black Hole still hasn't cooled down yet. Meanwhile, the Doom was on cooldown, and of course Storm Spirit was always on cooldown. So at the very least, I think they should have waited for the Enigma Black Hole because that is a big piece of the Sentinel strategy. Scourge extremely smart in that last team fight. If you notice of the Scourge movement, basically they even target that Enigma. I think in lower level play, if that was a DC in-house game, the Storm Spirit would have dutifully zipped in against Enigma and then try to disable him and whatnot. But you know, no need to disable the Enigma if he has no Black Hole, right? So really well done by the Scourge team. DK showing that they can win this game despite being a melee racks down. I won't say they are gonna win this game right now because it looks 50-50. Even though the Sentinel is racks up, I say 50-50 because they have committed to a mid game push. Drow Ranger again ramps up to late game. She ramps up to late game plus damage very, very quickly, but she's not gonna have much growth after this. Of course, Enigma has gone for a pushing build instead of a team fight build, and I think most of these heroes have gone for a pushing build as well. Yeah, pipe finish on Enigma, very good push. Kind of once you pop the pipe, you can safely walk up to the high ground. And Enigma, not Enigma, Invoker has gone for a Basilius and a Force Staff and a Django as well. So these are very pushing oriented item, and I think I say it's 50-50 because the Sentinel has maybe 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes to try to close out this game or get another Rax. If they don't get another Rax in 5 to 10 minutes, this game is as good as over. And I think I'm going to do another smoke gank. Where's that smoke? Where's that smoke? No smoke. Alright, Drow Ranger has a BKB, has a Yasha. Gonna do another creep check to see how everyone's doing. Morphling has 200 creeps in 28 minutes, so we're looking at 7? Yeah, around 7, 6.5, 7. And he does have a Manta style and a Lincoln Sphere. Man, Chinese Morphling these days. Last time was ZSMJ. This time was Burning, eHome's former carry player. Farming up like a madman. And Stormsphere actually got a Medallion Courage. Man, I love this item choice. Great item choice. You might ask why. Well, Stormsphere can zip in against whoever and then just drop the Medallion and do a significant damage to it. Or if that clock hooks in against someone, you could drop that Medallion Courage debuff on that clock, and that clock's going to just melt to the focus fire going to be placed upon him. So I do like this choice. And of course, as a Stormsphere, you don't expect to take a lot of physical damage anyways. And if you're being right-clicked down, you're fucked, regardless. Like the extra 6 armor is not gonna help you, or the -6 armor is not gonna hurt you too much, since you're gonna be zipping around like crazy. If you get disabled for even 1 second, you're gonna be dead anyways. And if you pop your BKB, I don't think these Sentinel team's gonna waste a lot of time trying to focus you down physically. So I think this Medallion of Courage is a good, very good strategic choice. Very good strategic choice. Man, I can't speak English today, or I can't speak English any day. So I suppose that's fine. And it looks like Stormsphere is up to 117 creep kill. Not that bad, considering that he was jungling. So basically he started with 0 CS for the first 10 minutes. Doombringer, yeah, Doombringer is actually going for a very support. If you look at Doom's farm, 29 CS. Yeah, 29 CS on that Doombringer. Yeah, he's been mostly eating jungle creeps and then devouring whenever he's cooldown. He's playing hardcore support Doombringer, and you guys want to be like, what the fuck, like a support Doombringer, right? I mean, just because he has a skill to farm doesn't mean that you necessarily need to farm with it. For example, Tiny, right? Tiny has great skill to farm. Avalanche Toss, that's an entire wave, but that doesn't mean you should waste all your mana to farm. It's actually a lot better just to save that mana and to go gank very effectively. Of course, that might not be the same 100% analogy compared to Doombringer, because Doombringer's Devour actually gives you a lot of farm, and you can't really devour anything else, right? I mean, you can't devour heroes, so. But you guys get my analogy. Just because you have skills to farm doesn't mean you need to take creep kills away from your teammate. And right now, this Doombringer is setting a very fine example of that. So, let's see. The Sentinel team still trying to jungle around. I think they sense the urgency as well. It's not like they don't realize that they can't win this game late. I think they realize that as well. But I don't think they have any good move to push, a good chance to push into the Scourge lane. I think what they're waiting for is the Scourge to make a mistake, but I don't think Scourge will. That's the thing. DK is gonna play it very safe. They're gonna, in every team fight, they're gonna send in the Doom first. They're gonna send in TIE Hunter first, so they're not gonna be too afraid. Meanwhile, this Morphling, the most dangerous thing about Morphling and a Spectre for that matter is that you could farm in multiple lanes away from your teammates and then still join into team fights. No worries. Like you're not going to be afraid that you're going to be out of position. Of course, the Morphling is going to be a little bit harder compared to a Spectre, because you're going to have to use your replica very actively. But he is having replicas sticks very close to his teammates, so he could always go in. As long as these 4 heroes roam very aggressively and basically gonna fake it. If let's say these 4 heroes fake a mid push, right? Then the Sentinel heroes have to respawn and have to stay in this area, and then they're gonna just this gives Morphling free farm room. Or if the Sentinel hero decides to go to the Morphling could just replicate to the back to his team and then go for a real push. And in either case, the Sentinel is going to be out of position to defend their tower. So that's why like Morphling is so picked as a late game carry. Of course, good surviving ability is just icing on the cake. And Morph is a pretty broken spell, and I think the Scourge team is going to look for a tower, and this is not going to be a trade. They're going to just take a tower. Manta Morphling is going to be doing a lot of physical DPS. I do like this build. Normally, I would favor the Ethereal Blade build a little bit, but the Ethereal Blade is going to help. It's not going to help too much against the Sentinel lineup. Like, you can't really burst down any of these heroes quickly enough. So, going to go for a more late game build. Look for a more late game counter pushing build as well. And have I mentioned that this melee Rax is down? But it doesn't feel like it, right? It feels like this Morphling is very dutifully pushing out the wave, and he's gonna come back. Even though these creeps give absolutely no gold, they give like 18 to 20 gold. You still have to tend to it, and he's doing a very good job tending to it. So almost 300 creep kills. Yeah, he's actually. I mean, if you remember that Morphling performance by ZSMJ of that game that I casted just before this one. ZSMJ is having similar farm, but you gotta keep in mind that ZSMJ didn't have the Storm Spirit to compete with him because I think that ZSMJ was the only farmer in his team. At least with the heroes, that's the only farmer. Whereas Storm Spirit had to compete with the Storm Spirit for a bit. Also, these creep gives absolutely no go. So even though he is sitting at 306 creep kills, all like a good 50 of them, or maybe even more, maybe 60 or 70 creep kills were like useless creep kills, or more or less. So I think the farming performance of Burning right now is a little bit better than ZSMJ's farming performance. It looks like he has Scotty finish. And again, I really like this item choice of Scotty because right now, at this current moment in time, I have to say Scourge got the game won. Like, 5 minutes ago, I said if the Sentinel don't get another Rax in the next 5 or 10 minutes, the game's over. And I think the game is already pretty much over because the Morphling has Scotty, so that means there's really no way you could kill down the Morphling unless he's horribly out of position. You gotta keep in mind Drow Ranger still right clicks pretty hard. Like, Drow Ranger's no slouch when it comes to the DPS department, but Drow Ranger can't really survive against all these right-click focus of the Morphling, the Doombringer. If you land the Doom on the Drow Ranger, she can't BKB, she can't Manta, and she's pretty much a goner as well. So we'll see. I think the Scourge team has got this game won. They're not gonna look for anything. They're gonna just turtle this game for probably 20 more minutes. Chinese play style, very calculated, very slow. But they're gonna win the game. The Scourge more late game than the Sentinel. And you might be thinking, well, don't the Sentinel have a Drow? Like, Drow Ranger is a legit carry. You gotta keep in mind Sentinel went for pushing items. They went for Jangles, went for like I think he even got Basilius. Invoker forced to get a hood as well to survive against the Doombringer. Meanwhile, the Enigma has not gone for he's going for pushing item. Necronomicon level 1, realizing that Blink Dagger BKB would not be that helpful. So gone for very, very hard pushing items, and pushing items does not transition well in the late game. Both teams kind of posturing around the Roshan area. Whoever wins the next team fight is gonna get the Roshan. Like, if the Sentinel wins the next team fight, they're gonna get the Rax and probably win the game. But the chance of them winning the team fight is very, very low. Whereas if the Scourge win the team fight, they successfully defend the Rax. I presume that if they're going to win a team fight, they probably can defend the Rax. And then they're going to get the Roshan as well. So the next team fight is going to decide the game. So both teams are very, very slow, very posturing in terms of choosing to fight the team fight at the correct rounds. And if you look at the team fight capability, right, the Sentinel has a swap. They have a hook to initiate, but in terms of swap, who are you gonna swap in? You can't really swap in the Doom because he has pipe, he has a frost armor, so he tanks pretty hard. You can't swap in Storm. Morphling is gonna be far away, so you can't really swap in. Lich would be a really good choice to swap in, but I'm pretty sure this Lich is gonna stay the hell back. And you can't swap a Titan. Tidehunter, by the way, has a Blink Dagger, so that's gonna be crucial in the next team fight. Ward goes down with the Sentries and Eidolons. A gem being picked up on the Lich. Lich need to actively cast frost armor, especially on that Doombringer. Doombringer has no armor if you don't cast frost armor on him. Looks like we're gonna have this Roshan attempt going on. These illusions are coming around. Okay, let's see. Eagle Horn on the Drow Ranger. Any other new items on these guys? Necro 1, Medallion Courage on Venge. I do like that. A lot of minus armor. Pipe and Invoker has a hood. So okay. Meanwhile, Scotty on the Morphling, Gem and Mecha. Pipe and Mana Boots. Storm Spirit has BKB, Medallion, and an Ultimate Orb. And then Morphling. I already checked the Morphling. Who am I missing? Yes, Tidehunter with the Blink Dagger. In terms of these kind of item, I don't think the Sentinel could really easily initiate it because the clock could hook in. And like I said many times, A, there won't be any good targets to hook in. And B, if you hook in, the Tidehunter is going to just stand between your team and that clock. And if your team just try to run in to help the clock, then the Ty is gonna ult. If your team don't run in and help the clock, then he basically just initiated to his death. So that Tidehunter is basically like a hardcore counter pick against this clock. That's why I remember, if you remember correctly, the DK just picked the Tide almost without even thinking at that last pick. And that's why Sentinel can't fight. And Sentinel's going to wait this game out. Scourge, they can wait this out all they want. They're going to send the Morphling to farm. And then with the Replicate, he could just still join the team fight. He needs to make another Replicate, though. Needs to do that. and a Helmet Dominator being picked up on the Morphling as well. Morphling does not have a Replicate. He does not have a TP scroll, so he needs to be careful, because if he's caught out of position, if his team is caught out of position, then that won't be really good. Yeah, he's rendezvousing with his Doombringer. Make a Replicate. There we go. And then now he's gonna push top. And that's why Morphling is such a gay carry hero. Like he's gonna just drag games out, because he can defend, he can be at multiple places at once. That's why Spectre and Morphling so good in these kind of late game scenario. Even if you're down or Rax, you can just do this. No big deal to Morphling. He's gonna counter push. Morphling approaching 400 CS. He's gonna get 10 CS a minute. Again, this CS is gonna be a lot more impressive compared. It looks like, yeah, he's gonna replicate in. Again, Hunter has that Blink Dagger. It looks like we're gonna see some sort of initiation. Storm zips in. Who are they gonna focus? They're gonna focus on the Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger gets doomed, and that's GG. Like, he can't pop the BKB, and he's gonna try to right click. There we go. That Drow Ranger goes down. Yafit picks up a kill. Yeah, a big cluster F coming off. Yeah, Yafit again. He zips in and then zips in and then zips in, and that's it. Yeah, the game is over. Like, they're gonna play for probably 25 more minutes, but the game's over. They are gonna get this Aegis, and then Morphling's gonna go back to farming for 10 more minutes. He's probably gonna finish his Titanic or finish his, I don't know, Butterfly, whatever he gets. That's pretty much it. Support Doom buying wards. Have you ever thought of a Chinese Doom gonna play it like this? Meanwhile, Yafit has his Hex finished as well. Yeah, this game is as good as done. And well, I mean, strategically, I think DK made the right move. And I believe Tyloo made the right moves as well. I can't really, like, it's really hard to say where they lost this game, because they definitely didn't make it up to the high ground, and they definitely got a Rax push down. I think that second mid push wasn't the best for Tyloo, because they fought without the Enigma's Black Hole. I think on their defense, they're mostly looking for to like, time is of essence, right? They are a pushing team, so they want to push as soon as possible. And maybe they thought, well, since we won our last couple of team fights, very handily, we should be able to win this team fight as well. But they chose a very bad time to choose fight that team fight, because that's when Stormster just finished his BKB, and he was able to initiate without fear, and then that basically just tore through the Sentinel ranks. So again, this is why I don't really like Clockwork. Especially in a Chinese game, Clockwork is a very strong ganker, but you can see that for the past 35 minutes, he hasn't been ganking. I think he only ganked once, like, this entire game. If you're gonna choose a Clockwork as an initiator, I think there's better initiators in the pool. To be completely honest, there's probably a lot better initiators. Like, I would have just taken a top solo Enigma as my primary initiator, just get him stacked as hell with the Blink Dagger BKB. Not in this game, because there's just too many counter on the Scourge, but in general, right? I think Clock is a great ganker, but the Chinese don't play him as a ganker. That's the thing, though. Like, have you seen a Clock gank this game? I haven't. So that's why I don't really like Clock in the Chinese games. Stormspirit almost signifies the same role, but this game, his role is a little bit different. Like, this game, his entire role just to initiate or counter initiate against the Enigma, or in this late game scenario, initiate against that against the Drow Ranger, like he did. He basically popped in against the Drow, and Drow basically was hexed, was grappled, and then his Doombringer was able to catch up and then cast a Doom on that Drow Ranger, and Drow is done for that team fight. Like, if you could just multiply initiate on that Drow Ranger and take him out of the entire team fight, then you basically just won the team fight. So that's why, like, his role is a little bit, or not a little bit, far different from the Clock in this game. So I really like this Storm Surge build. And also that's where the medallion comes in. Like, if he's working against a Drow Ranger when he's BKB, then he doesn't really care, right? If you could disable a Drow Ranger, who's gonna do the physical damage to you? Medallion or Enigma? Like, he's gonna do any physical damage to you? Not really, right? Necro 2 being picked up on the Invoker, on the Enigma. Invoker doing his thing. He's trying to go for a Hex. He's not gonna get it before the game ends. I think, yeah, this is probably the GG push coming from DK, and I don't think Tyloo could defend this. I mean, there's only so much EMP Tornado could do. Let's see. EMP Tornado should be casting it like crazy. I think Invoker has to stay back, even though EMP Tornado, or at least tornadoes are really long range, so EMP isn't. If he even steps out, that Stormster is gonna just say hi to him, and that wouldn't be pretty at all. Here we go. GG push going on this tower. Glyph, EMP Tornado against this Morphling. Morphling shrugs it off. No big deal. They have an urn on the team, right? Yeah, Lich has an urn. He's going to urn him up. The push resumes. I think Invoker needs to drop an Ice Wall up here. He should have just dropped an Ice Wall when he had a chance. And now he doesn't. And another EMP Tornado. Tower's going to go down. And then the Rack's going to shortly follow, shortly after. Alright, EMP Tornado. Okay. Alright, zapped a lot of mana on the Stormster. Stormster at half at mana. Tower at 100 HP, 60 HP. And, oh shit, Burning took that Necro. There we go, Rack's being picked off. And then Scourge is going to just back off. They're going to defend top. Oh my god, top is actually very, very low. Tempo of the Dam. Oh, Tempo of the Dam. Storm zips in. Okay, whew. Storm so close. Actually putting the medallion on the glaive thrower and dying to these creeps because he's not got no freaking armor. Alright, he defended that melee Rex or range Rex very vigilantly. Meanwhile, Lich doing his thing as well. Morphling continue to farm. Morphling has a butterfly. Man, how much farm is Morphling? Morphling has 450 farm in 44 minutes. That's over 10 a minute. Meanwhile, Drow Ranger only 252. And see, there's the farming difference. Why? Because he has replicate and she doesn't. So that's pretty much it. That's all she wrote, man. That's all she wrote. Now I think the Scourge team's gonna push the top lane and then just go for throne probably. I don't think they even need to get megas at this point. Morphling still has. Storm has 4k in the bank, so he could buy back and buys BOT and ports in the next fight if he dies. I think Burning would by the time he gets to the next by the time he gets to a team fight, he's gonna have some some odd K as well, so he could do the same thing if he dies. So this game is done. This game is done. Drow Ranger farming for buyback. Drow Ranger doesn't have buyback. What the hell did she do? She has an eagle horn too. What happened to her eagle horn? Did you sell her eagle horn? What the fuck? Oh, it's on the crow? Where's the crow? Okay, that's a butterfly. Okay. I'm not too sure that's the best choice. Like, well, maybe he realized that there's even if she buybacks, like even if she save her buyback gold, her team is gonna die anyways. So buyback might not be the best thing. Probably it's better to get your last like your biggest item and try to do something with it. Venge hasn't swapped at all this game. At least swap offensively. Let's see. Oh, he's gonna swap on the. Oh yes, a great silence and a hex. They are gonna kill the Morphling. A great team fight starting. They did kill off the Morphling at the beginning, but no. Drow Ranger goes down. Invoker is gonna go down. Ice Wall. Great job. But I know Drow Ranger just got down here. There's that Aegis, and there we go. Is that Morphling? Yes, Morphling bought back. BOT's back in, and the rest of the team fight is just cleanup duty by Yaphitz. Yaphitz is gonna kill the Venge, and the Morphling goes down to a plus 560 something damage. Oh, Clock goes down instead. That's the GG. Just waiting for Tyloo to call it GG. Yes, GG is called and the game's over. So, I mean, you guys pretty much saw the game was pretty much determined 20 minutes ago, but then the Chinese would drag it out. So, one thing I want to say is, like, how do I say it? If this was a StarCraft game, I think the GG call would have been made 20 minutes ago, or a Warcraft game, because I think in StarCraft and Warcraft, they would call GG if they lose a big army, or like the same scenario is they lose a big team fight in Dota, right? Whereas I think Dota it's almost bad manner to call GG so early. So we see games dragged out, 20 more minutes, which isn't bad in cases where we could talk about, strategically how this game is going. What are some of the very late game item choices you could make? You can see that in this case, Morphling, gone for a very, very late game carry build. Got a BOT as well. And also in this game, we could also realize, I mean, like, heroes like Drow Ranger, Dusa, Spectre, and Morphling, they aren't like vanilla replacements for each other. Like, you can't. Well, my strategy, I'm just gonna need a generic carry hero. Like there's no such thing as a generic carry hero because each carry hero does something better than the other carry heroes. For example, Drow Ranger does a lot better to Morphling because Drow Ranger, in terms of plus damage, she gets her plus damage so very quickly, and thus Tyloo could depend on the Drow Ranger for that early mid game push, and that was quite effective. Her True Shot aura benefited her range team very well. Of course, there was command aura as well in there. Although I didn't like the Venge picking up a very late command aura. I think there was one time I checked and he didn't have a command aura skilled up as well. In combination of True Shock and Command Aura, those Eidolons were doing a lot of damage, and also coupling to the fact that Scourge had no AoE defensive spells, Tyloo definitely easily pushed down the top racks. So that was really good for Tyloo. What Morphling does better than a Drow Ranger is that Morphling is a lot more global. Like he could farm the top lane, and he has been farming all over the map, especially defending that top lane, but always constantly keeping a replica with his teammates. Excuse me, keeping a replicate with his teammates, and then join back to team fight whenever it's needed. So as a long game progresses, Morphling can farm up to more items because he doesn't need to stick with his team. Whereas Drow Ranger has to, like Drow Ranger, unless she has a BOT, and she's not gonna get a BOT, Drow Ranger has to stick with the team and forego a lot of farm. And also, we saw the Tyloo strategy. It's a pretty valid strategy. Go for it, pushing Enigma instead of carrying team fight Enigma. I mean, when we think of Enigma, we think of the Black Hole, but Enigma's a very, very strong pusher as well, and the Eidolons do quite a bit of damage. Shame it didn't work out. They were very, very close to winning. They did take down melee racks. Still, I think the only thing that they made a mistake, I can't even say for sure it's a mistake, is where they pushed mid lane without Enigma's Black Hole on cooldown. In that team fight, it was basically 4v5. Even if you had Enigma, all he had was Malphus. Basically, that's it. And then that was pretty much a 4v5 team fight. Great play from Yafit despite having a shitty ass start. I think he got rocket off somewhere in the jungle. Yeah, he did. He could just die somewhere here, and then he had to neutral his way up, and then had to buy back, and that stopped his BKB. But regardless, I mean, Yafit is Yafit. He got his BKB initiated very well. Of course, burning like he was the late game glory, like 500, almost 500 crew kills in 46 minutes. Again, still not beating ZSMJ's record. Like he's still in all the glory, but I think the true MVP of this game is Yafit. He definitely did not have a good start, but still was so effective in the mid to late stage of the game. I don't think Enigma ever got a black hole. The only black hole Enigma got, a 4-man black hole, was here at the bot lane, and then he was cancelled quite quickly by a Doom level death, I believe. So for all the other cases, the Storm Spirit was either initiating to counter initiate against Enigma, or just initiate against the Drow Ranger or Invoker. And if you could disable one of them, then you pretty much won the entire team fight. So very well played by DK, showing that why they are one of the most hyped team, because they do have really great players. I haven't introduced the players at all, but the Scourge, DK has King J, Shuriken, KSSS, Yafit's at Burning, like really well-known names from the Chinese Dota scene. And they are, I mean, this game shows them they have promise. But whether they could take up the other giants such as CCM or eHome, only time will tell. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rather long and kind of somewhat strategically focused game. But I hope you guys learned a couple things about the Chinese scene. So until next time, hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. And this is Loomis signing off. GG guys.